Well, here's a locomotive that needs no introduction. Locomotion No1 from Hornby. It's just an amazing model. Just to give you a bit of an idea about a few things that I've done with this particular model. Details bag. You get various couplings for the rear of the tender. In this case I've fitted what I'm going to call a Scale type magnetic chain, so it works straight away with the Scale children wagons. But inside the bag, as standard, you get a little bucket, but you also get an M type coupling, as well as the chain link coupling, fixed plastic one that you would use for the rocket, Hornby's rocket style coaches, carriages and wagons. So that's that plastic chains type there, which would clip straight into the back of the tender. Like I say, you've got the NEM one, little NEM plug and a chain, and as standard it comes with a bucket. In this case that is the blanking plate, because I have DCC fitted that particular locomotive. I'm running a Zemo MX16, I think it is, decoder. It's actually a Bachmann 36567A, which is a particular beastie. So I fitted one of those. It's although it's badged as a Bachmann, it is actually a Zemo decoder, and it even tells you when you turn it over. There we go. Get on the screen. This was manufactured by Zemo. They're excellent decoders. They're really fantastic motor control they have with them, and they make pretty much anything run well. Not that this needs it, it's a good runner anyway. So I've DCC fitted it. The locomotive, when you first get it out of the packet, is not a bad runner, but it does benefit from a lot of running in, plus a couple of other things, and I'll show you what I mean by turning it over. So the good thing about this particular unit is the transport case. If I do that, it becomes a servicing cradle. What a fantastic idea. Well done, Hornby. I'm really impressed with that, because these things, if you ever try to do that with the rocket, oh dear, very difficult, because it is very fragile, and this is no different, fairly obviously. However, this cradle makes it so much easier. Just to point out a few things on the underside, we've got pickups on every single axle. They are, I think I can show you it, spring pickups on the actual axle itself. There's a little wire going down to the body. I hope that comes through on the video. But each axle has a spring pickup, therefore you've only got 4 pickups, 1 per axle. Interesting choice. I think when you look at the design of the wheels, or the prototypical design of the wheels that's on here, I don't think Hornby had much choice. It's a very light machine. If they put normal wiper pickups on any of these wheels, especially the small wheels on the tender, I don't think they would rotate. I think it would stop the wheels turning, and it would cause a lot of drag. It's too small and too lightweight to be a split chassis. I think the spring pickups are a good compromise, in all honesty. They seem to work pretty well. The only downside is that very occasionally on speed step 1, very, very slowest crawl, which it will do, it'll go very, very slowly, lovely, they can sometimes lose a bit of connection, I suppose, and it sticks. It was a little bit worse out of the box, and for that reason I think they over oil these axles a little bit at the factory, so that would prevent good electrical continuity. And also I felt as if the wheels on this particular model just had kind of a film from the manufacturing process. So within the first hour, I did just a bit of contact cleaner on these springs, and then just a very small dab of oil on the axles, just to make sure that the contact cleaner hadn't washed away all the lubricating oil. And I did clean the wheels. That helped the machine to run very, very nicely, very, very smoothly, with absolutely no cutouts, no stopping, no stalling, apart from at very, very, very slow speed, step 1. And then it can just occasionally stick, but it can also travel quite a way, just very, very slowly, very, very slowly. And you'll see that in the video. But there we go. I just thought I'd give you a quick shot of the underside. It's an interesting mechanism. A few things that are different from normal Hornby mechanisms. You can probably see we've got cogs on both front and rear wheels. Each wheel is actually driven, and when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Normally with a Hornby model, you'd have one axle that would be driven and the other wheels would be driven by the connecting rods. But if you look at the connecting rods on this thing, would you really want these things to be transmitting power? I don't think so. I think what they've done by driving both axles is a very, very good idea. Although it's light, it does seem to have reasonable good pulling. Again, you'll see in the videos, or have seen the videos, depending on which way I edit the movie, that this thing, I've got 9 of the Acura scale chaldrons, and it pulls them absolutely fine. I suspect it would do 12 quite happily. Whether it'll do 15 or not, I don't know, but I can't imagine many people have got 15 chaldrons to pull behind it. However, let's a look at the underside. It's a lovely thing. They've even got details on the underside of here, little bits of supports for the, I'm going to call them walkways, I'm not sure, little bits of pipe work. Right on the underside of the boiler, you've even got riveting detail. Amazing. And actually, I think possibly the axles are fairly prototypical, the way they've not the axles, the bearings, there's a bearing supports for the axles, I think is probably fairly prototypical as well. So yeah, well done Hornby. Put that back down. To get it out, you can just do the reverse. Put the bottom of the casing back on, tip it upside down, pull the top off. I love that. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So yeah, just a little bit of an update on this particular one. So I think you've probably seen on the internet the stoppy-starty nature of these things, so I've cured that with the cleaning of the wheels and cleaning of the spring pickups on the axles. The other thing I've seen a few people report is a bit of a squeak coming from them, and mine did the same, and it looks like that this connecting rod is just catching and rubbing on the walkway, that slot in the walkway. So just a little bit of oil just on there cures that one as well, gets rid of any squeak. I did think with the squeak it might have been, you know, the usual culprits, just some part of the connecting rods or the mechanism, but nope, that's all pretty well oiled. It was in fact just a little bit of rubbing as these rods were going up and down. Other than that, what a fantastic machine. So just to give you an idea of scale, that is a cocktail stick. Most of these connecting rods, cross members, framework, if not all of them, are pretty much smaller than a cocktail stick. Probably half the width. Some of them a lot finer. It's an incredible piece of engineering, to be fair. Overall, my first impressions are, and it runs very, very well. But just to give you a bit of an idea of the details, the wheels look just like the original. Excellent detail. There is, you'll probably just see there, there's even little bits of detail under the boiler. The Detail of the boiler with the wood panelling is excellent. Lovely little nameplate. The movement, which you'll see when it's moving across the whole of these cross members and beams, is quite frankly phenomenal. I just think it's brilliant what they've done. As you can see, I've fitted the two crew members. Look at those little taps, absolutely tiny. It looks like on the camera that the cocktail stick is way in front of the locomotive, but in actual fact that is touching those taps. Very, very fine detail. The tender is lovely, nice little step. The detail on the wheels is excellent. I fitted the you get an optional number of connectors, drawbar connectors for the back of the tender. I fitted the Rapido, hang on a second, I fitted the Rapido style magnetic one, but that loops around underneath because it's got metal on the bottom of the tender. The only downside with the case is that if you have the crew fitted, the locomotive won't go in the case, so I've got to take the crew off.
So just to show its crawling abilities, as you can see, it's got a wonderfully slow crawl, but it sticks. Little touch, off it goes again. And I think that is just a reflection of the spring pickups on the axles. You have only got 4 pickups, so it's possibly inevitable. But she really does crawl very slowly, very nicely, very smoothly. Just a few more clips of going at a slightly faster pace, just showing the beautiful motion of those connecting rods, pistons going up and down, cross members going up and down. I don't know the official names for these particular rods and linkages, but I find it very mesmerising to watch them at whatever speed. Probably they do look better at the slightly slower speeds, but we'll show it running properly at some higher speeds later on. But I think this sort of semi-slow speed shows it off to its finest. I do apologise for the light in this particular part of the video. I shot this video late at night and it was quite dark, so I had to get some artificial light in it, and it's just a bit harsh. But the next section we're back into daylight and it's a bit softer. The next clip will show the rake of children wagons I've got. I've got 9 from a Cura scale, and it really makes the train. It's fabulous.
Pulls them no problem. They're fairly light, to be fair, but even so, it'll even shunt them backwards. It won't work so well on the bend, but in a straight line. Isn't that fab? Here she comes. of a wider angle on the camera just to... Splendid. So what's the pull away like with 9 children coach carriages, wagons? Pretty good. A little bit of a slip, not much.
I've now added in 2 of the third class passenger carriages that Hornby really produced, I suppose, for the rocket, but I think they suit this particular train quite well, and again she just pulls those beautifully. So I've got 9 children's plus 2 of those blue passenger carriages. I think on that basis she'd probably do at least, she certainly would do a dozen children's, and probably even 15 maybe. It's impressive. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, bye for now.